Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat DPS player. I believe we are mostly looking at May and McCree, excuse me. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do feel free to like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. And down there, you'll be able to see my rates. You'll be able to connect with other people that are getting coaching. You can participate in Recruit a Friend, all sorts of good stuff. Okay. You don't need to wander. Stay with your core here. You did want to turn and start, you did want to turn and already start to slow down that ball though. So as soon as you heard him slam, you should have been looking for him. You should have known, hey, I saw him roll up this way, so, he's coming from this way, and you should know where the core of your team is, so he was more likely to slam to your right. So you should have immediately been looking up over here for him and be already getting some Freezy Beam on him, because Freezy Beam makes his life very, very difficult. That is a very high value thing for you into this team, making their balls life difficult. Again, less interested in you freezing the front line, more interested in you making it absolutely brutal for their ball. I don't mind you freezing the front line, but I don't want you just ignoring this ball when he comes in. Like, yes, put pressure on the front line, play, in your Ryan's pocket, that's fine, but I want you doing those quick pivots to look at ball because you can make him leave so much faster, and if he doesn't, you can get some real stuns on him that he will not like. You didn't have to do that. Okay, so there's the slam again. You gotta turn to deal with the ball. You gotta. You're the best person on your team to deal with it. I'm a little surprised you went for the wall there rather than throwing an icicle into the lamp, but okay. Okay, if he's gonna slam it, go ahead. That one's a little far away, unfortunately. You're better off staying on the front targets. Yeah, you want to take advantage of the targets that got flattened, that are potentially finishable, etc. You can see we hit a slam. We hit a slam and we didn't get any eliminations off of it. Now, part of that was, hey, the slam was as much to deny their window as it was to do work, and it did deny part of their window. But if you could put a little more damage into that, that would be great. And this was far enough away that you couldn't immediately start freezing it. Your attention was better spent forward. Now that you're here, your attention is better spent here. I just don't like the wasted time transitioning. Oh, you're just leaving your Reinhardt too? Oh, I'm sorry, Reinhardt. It was nice knowing you. No, he's gonna be okay. Okay. This is fine. You're gonna have to ice block. Okay, you got the mercy beam, so you stayed. That's fine. Good. You're a little late to switch from freezing something to lining up your icicle headshots there. So I do want you to be more aware of when something's frozen, when something's going to be frozen, etc. Just a little more actively paying attention to that, getting a slightly better feel for it, because you're continuing to freeze things when you definitely have time to be shooting your icicle shot, particularly into monkeys there, etc. I get it with the ball, you're leaning a little more on the freeze side, like, no, I want to start refreezing him early. Can't really do that, but I'm more forgiving that. But on these other targets, you get them frozen, you should know when they're going to be frozen. You should have a very good feel for the pace at which things freeze, and you should be pivoting to your right-click headshots faster. because the left click isn't really very much damage. You're not using it for damage. You're using it to stop them for your team and to make it so you can line up an easy headshot. I don't think you want this. Okay. Yeah. So again, your freeze is mostly sort of a setup for you. You going out and actively chasing down a ball to freeze over here, like, yeah, you're going to be able to put some damage into it, etc. But really, that doesn't stop him from going and getting your team, because he will ultimately get away from you. So the freeze is really much more painful to him when he's in or near your team. So you're really looking to protect your team with it. I don't mind you going up here, going, this is the critical ground, I want to contest this. I don't mind throwing some icicles at him, etc. You were trying to freeze him from too far away. But really, I'm torn. Like, yes, this is the right space for you and your team to take, but I don't think it's the right space for you to take individually. It's not bad. I just want you a little more aware in general of protecting your backline from ball. Bounce the icicle. Okay. Wasting some ammo there trying to shoot around corners doesn't work. It is okay to take your mouse off the left click for a moment there when they're no longer on your screen, for example. Oh yeah, we're going fair hunting. Okay, so let's rewind that just so you can see this. He moves fast, I get it, at least until you get some ice on him. But okay, so I'm not one to gripe about mechanics. People have the mechanics that they do, and you work on them over time, and you can do things to improve them, etc. But we just look at how long you were chasing after that ball and not hitting him, and you weren't wrong to be chasing after the ball. That is a mechanics issue, and it's one you unfortunately need to correct. Like, again, I am not the mechanics guy. I am not the coach that harps on, oh, you need to hit your mechanics, and you need to do that, and you lost this game because you didn't mechanic hard enough. No, that's not my thing, but that was an unacceptable level of not effectively tracking your target. So I don't know if you just can't turn fast enough. That's possible. It's possible that that's the case, that you've got your sensitivity so low that you can't turn fast enough, in which case, hey, it's good that you have your sensitivity somewhat low. That helps protect your wrist, etc., etc. But you need to be able to do, big swings of your mouse to be able to stay on the target or to be able to get ahead of the target. Like, if you can't keep up with the target, do a big swing to get ahead of the target and then do a smaller adjustment to come back to it. It was like, again, I'm belaboring the point a little bit, but this is so much time. We'll get back to it. You hear the ball at this point. You start looking to hit it at this point. Let me aim correctly. This is 408. I'm going to slow it down, but I'll still tell you the second when you effectively stop. Activating clear impact area. You didn't need to ice block here. I get the desire, but he doesn't really have good follow-up, and you were actually going to fall back below this and probably be fine. But I do get it. You're worried. And if they're good, and hey, there's the window going on, some chip damage could finish you, etc. I do understand it. I just want you staying on the ball is really what's going on. So this isn't really bad or wrong because, hey, you did hear the window go off at the same time you got slammed up into the air. So sure, go ahead and ice block this. Probably going to want you to break this immediately, though, as soon as you're back below this threshold. I'm not going to want you to try and use your ice block to heal, because I want you back on that ball, and that ball's not good at finishing you. So this is the point, though. We went to 412 here. So that's just like, what was it, 408 to 412? So that's 4 seconds of sort of meanderingly trying to catch the ball with a weapon that is very forgiving with its hitbox. You know, her spray beam is pretty forgiving with its hitbox. Yes, he's a fast target, but you just got to be able to turn a bit faster. And if that's a sensitivity issue, you work on it. If it's not a sensitivity, or you know, potentially adjust it, get a bigger mouse pad, get used to using your elbow, whatever the case is going to be there. If it's not a sensitivity issue, if it's just a, hey, it's hard for me to keep up with things that are turning issue, I struggle with that, that just means it's something you have to work on. Like, you can literally just go, hey, I need to practice doing 180s. I need to practice knowing exactly what my turn is. So I'm here, and I can do my 180s. See, I clearly need to practice my 180s. And you go like that. And you go like that. And you go the other way. And you go the other way. And then you do 90-degree turns. And 90-degree turns. And 90-degree turns, so that you're not just in this like, oh, let me slowly try to follow to get around, or let me follow to try and get around on this target, etc. No, you can overcorrect past it and then adjust back if you're struggling to keep up with something. That is a totally legit thing to do. Anyway, that's enough on that. I just had to call it out because that is probably the why for why you're not protecting your team from ball, because you're struggling when ball is in that close moving around, etc. And if you can do that, you're then going to be more willing to play May correctly into ball and make his life absolutely difficult by being sort of near your back line and going, okay, every time you come in, you're getting frozen probably twice, and then he's going to have a real tough time and probably swap. Yeah, you're freezing a little past when he's already frozen there, again, so that's something you want to watch out for. Especially when he's not in your team like that, so your follow-up isn't really going to be there. That's not something you want to go wild about over freezing him. Yes, go ahead and freeze him. That's fine if you want, but you're not going to get a head hitbox by freezing him. You're just going to get a stun. So instead, you're looking generally to go, hey, I could freeze you. My job is sort of to counter you, but it's perfectly fine also to go, hey, I'll freeze one of these characters that I can actually eliminate when you're way over here. Now, I don't actually like this Blizzard because, again, your team is back over here. Your team can't follow up on this Blizzard. Yes, you do a good job of then walling to try to create a smaller situation, so it's like a 1v2 instead of a 1v4, but you don't really want to ult when your team isn't in the fight to follow up on it. Like, Mei is a powerful ult. It's really, you know, a powerful ult like a tank ult where it's a big setup ult for her team to win. So you would like your team to be there to follow up on it. Okay, so now we're swapping to McCree, and my guess is we're swapping to McCree probably because we felt like we weren't doing our job, quote-unquote, of shutting down ball hard enough with Mei, so we're swapping to another character that can do it. Totally fine. McCree can do that. McCree can shut ball down just fine, but so could Mei. In fact, Mei's probably better at it. McCree is just a little more meta useful in general right now. So Mei was fine, but I don't have an issue with the McCree swap. Good. Nice.
Thanks. Put it on my tab.
You didn't need that reload, and there were targets on your screen. I'll show you. This is good. About 2, maybe 3 of your shots went over him, so a little better fan control on the second one would have been good, but the sequence that you went through was good here. I'll slow this down just a little so you see what I'm talking about. This is fine. You should go ahead and shoot the lamp from here rather than open the angle further, in my opinion.
Thanks.
You're reloading with 4 here. No reason. This lamp is on your screen. You can be shooting at this lamp instead of reloading. Now you're shooting at the lamp, and you're back at 4, so you could just be at 2 shots by now. You'd actually be lower than 2 shots because you wouldn't have had the reload time, but you see what I mean. 3 shots, 2 shots, 1 shot. That's fine. You're forced to reload there. So the 4-shot reload that you didn't have anything to do is what I'm griping on there. Again, you had a couple fan shots go high. I don't care. You didn't take the shots at the lamp that were there, which was weird. But, so far pretty good. Nice.
The battle continues. Heroes never
Okay, do you know where he is?
die to your
The payload is approaching its destination.
Okay. I want to see that actually.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Some unfortunate misses there, but that's okay.
Helden sterben nicht.
Nice.
I need healing.
That probably wasn't a fan. That probably was a start doing left clicks. I understand why you fanned, and yes, I am saying that with, hindsight 2020 of, hey, you missed the overwhelming majority of that fan, but with where he was distance-wise, no, you could have hit the fan. Like, I probably would have said, hey, his health is low enough that you can just get out, left clicks, you have a mercy pocketing you, etc. But I understand the fan, and the fan was reasonable. You just should have expected to hit more of those. You're done. You're not going to finish the point. Just leave. If you tried to peek aggressively for just another instant to get the ball kill, I'd have understood it. But the reality is you already have your ults. You're not doing this. Just get out. Thanks, Flemix. I'm going to keep it up. We're gonna have a whole library, multiple, maybe a whole archive of VOD reviews and other things here. Nice. Kind of ignoring what's shooting at you, but we'll live.
Heroes never die.
Okay. I don't think you needed that roll. You did it for movement, and I understand it, but I don't think you needed it.
That'll get it done.
Nice. Do I want to get critical on this?
That'll get it done. Easy.
Okay. Hit your roll.
Too slow.
Yeah, I do want to get critical on this. So you rolled for ammo there. Why are we taking cover and reloading? No one's looking at us. Not even Mercy. Mercy could be looking at us, but she's got her beam out. She's, she might call out that we're here, but she's not doing anything about us being here herself. So there's no need for us, after we rolled out of this, and we know we get a full clip of ammo after our roll. That's the better part of the ability, in fact, I'd argue. There's no need for us to be just standing. There's no need for us to go, oh, I took one shot. I better get cover and I better reload behind cover. No, you have 5 shots left in your clip and no one's looking at you. You don't need cover. Continue to pressure them from this side. Make it very difficult. Their Pharaoh is probably going to get some eliminations into this Grav barrage that they're doing. But if you go, no, I'm going to eliminate your Mercy and your Reaper while she gets her eliminations, cool. Your team stays in the fight. And there's no reason that can't happen right now. Good. Nice.
I'm on fire.
That was a good roll, by the way. Okay.
Payload's moving up.
Do I want to? Yeah, okay. It's fine.
Payload's moving up.
You were shooting at a Mercy that you weren't going to deny. She was in Valk and she was in lamp range. You got to pay a little more attention to the lamp. If you were going to deny her, it was going to be with flash, and you didn't have flash, so it just wasn't happening. Okay, that's fine. You go for your reload here, which I'm okay with, but you're stepping out, A, when you know Pharaoh is still looking at this, and B, while you're still reloading. So now you're opening this sight line while you're still reloading, and you're stepped back out immediately, which I have an issue with because Farah can't afford. Farah wants to pelt you with rockets. You are the most dangerous thing to her, but there's a lot of your friends down here. She can't afford to just look at the place in case you appear for very long at all. So varying your timing even a little bit rather than just immediately going back in, even though I know you're thinking, oh, tempo, we've got to stay ahead of these spawns, etc., etc. Varying your timing just a little bit, having just a tiny bit of patience. I'm talking like 3/4 of a second is going to get her to look somewhere else to try to deal something else, and then you peek and you go, oh, you're not looking at me, 2-tap, because she doesn't have any support up there. Like a little bit of patience, just like if you were Hammond and someone was shooting at you and you were low health and you were like, aha, I'm going, I'm rolling away, etc. They expect you to go this way for the health pack, so you start to roll this way and then you double back to dodge a shot, etc. Just like that, where you're going, hey, I'm here. Give me my McCree. I'm here. I go in here. I wait 1 Mississippi, and then I peek back out and do my shot like that. Because she can't. In this situation, she literally cannot afford to just tunnel you. Your Anna will take her down. Or, probably your Anna will take her down if she just tunnels you too hard, etc. So she's going to turn and start finding someone else to take shots at. She has to. And you take advantage of that.
Enemy contact.
This life's never uneventful.
Okay. So your team finished it off there. That's fine. So are we going to stay McCree? Are we going to do some May? What are we doing?
Ready for battle.
We're staying on McCree. Okay.
Ready for battle.
Comp-wise, you've got Ryan Zarya and a Hanzo with a Mercy and a support. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
I don't love you being on the same angle as your Hanzo. I'd actually probably prefer you with Core to being on the same angle as your Hanzo, but I can live with it. Especially if you're worried about flyers. So again, you don't even look for balls. And I don't know if you heard him get a projected barrier, so you went, okay, I'm not even going to look yet because I know it'll take the barrier a moment to come off, in which case, fine. But in general, I've noticed you don't even look for slamming balls. And when you're playing McCree, you gotta, because one of your jobs is to flashbang them. And if your flashbang connects before they hit the ground, you don't all get damaged, knocked up, etc. And that's a pretty big deal. And even if you do all get damaged, knocked up, etc., you still want to make sure you're able to find it pretty darn quick so that you can stun it, get a bunch of damage from you and your team into it, all that good stuff. I want you to look for this threat, not just go, oh, there's something on me. That would be like going, oh, there's a Genji. I can hear Genji putting shurikens into me at close range. I'm just going to keep shooting at the thing in front of me. That's kind of what you do. And it's like, no, you have to swivel, you have to look for him, etc. You can't just ignore the mosquito. It does have malaria. It will bite you and it will be bad.
Thank you kindly. Pardon me.
Yeah. You want to use your flash, so now he's going to get more value. Yep. He felt comfortable doing that because you used your flash. He did. You don't need to reach for flashes against him, which I've seen you reach just like when you were playing Mei. You run to go after ball. You don't need to do that as much. You can poke him out with, your weapon, effectively, icicles or McCree left clicks. And then when he comes in, that's when you go, okay, now I'm going to, when you're actually in, when he's slamming, when he's trying to fireball through, when he's trying to, swing through, that's when you go, okay, I'm going to hit my flash. I'm going to turn and find you immediately and start freezing you, etc. There you go. But I don't really think you looked for him when you heard him that time. I think you turned because you saw him coming in through here. I'm still glad that you did it, but I want you to expand your game sense a little more. I want you to be a little more willing to use your ears to find him, a little more willing to go, hey, shoot, I don't know where he is, but I can use context clues of my Anna and my Hanzo are here, so he's probably going to try to slam about here-ish type stuff. Ah, we've got our Mercy from yesterday visiting the chat. Nice to have you here. Certainly hope that helped you out. Looks like it did. Good luck to you.
Flight routine.
Okay, don't be afraid to shoot at the Echo. I know you were on the Reinhardt, but once the Echo shows up. Okay, that's there. So you're going to immediately pivot to deal with the ball, right? Your Ryan is in front there, can block out that team. He can back up a little bit, blocking out the team while the 5 of you deal with this ball. And you are the biggest part of that. Yeah, there you go. Again, you got that one because you saw it coming in. I don't want you to have to be at the back of your team to be able to deal with balls. I want you to be willing to pivot to get them, to pivot to find them and get them quickly, etc. But that was good. Like these last 2 ball interactions, even though he's coming in front and you've been able to see it, it's good that you've gotten it.
Engaged. McCree. It's
This isn't real. Your team's not going to make it. That's unfortunate. Okay, I'm happy to be wrong. I was wondering where your run was. He was slow. Okay. Deny it, deny it. Okay. There's really no point in backing out from that because A, it meant they got the payload, and B, it meant they were going to get the payload and then be able to stagger you. So, like, literally just hard staying in to get that denial by, you know, staying in, staying with the angle, forcing the elimination on Mercy was worth because your team was already so far behind. But that's fine. Like, you had to both deny the res and get the Mercy elimination for your team to have any chance, like any chance at all. So it didn't make sense to retreat. If you went down doing that, so be it. But that's a understanding exactly, you know, that's a game sense understanding exactly the flow of battle. You get more of that the more you play, the more you intentionally pay some attention to the kill feed, etc. Yep. Fine with that one. Nice.
adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt.
Okay, this isn't related to this game, but it's related to something like 3 or 4 videos back if people look. So if you were Valking because you couldn't reach Widow, don't do that. Like, I suspect you know that now. Don't do that. That becomes a case of, hey, if the Widow needs healing, the Widow is going to come peek you, etc., or they're just going to have to live without. So you don't need to Valk to go, I don't have another way to heal my Widow. I have to Valk so I can get the angle to get them, etc. You just go, no, there's other people like my Soldier on my team that I'm perfectly happy to pocket. Or if I have to do worse than that, you know, forget it. I'll boost my Reinhardt while he fire strikes. Like, you'll find other things to do. You'll find safe positioning and other things to do until your Widow decides that they need help, in which case they'll get a little more aware of peeking you, etc. I'm assuming no one's on comms. If they're on comms, you just tell them, peek me, I need a lift, etc. Anyway, back to our McCree May play here. Let's take another watch at that. Good. But I don't think you're getting out. You're too far behind. Yeah, that's fine. Your team should be able to push out of that. Interesting.
Heroes never die. This is not the end.
Good. You're missing the shots, but you're making the effort, so I don't mind. I don't like that one so much. Let's take another look here. You're reloading at 1. Don't need to do that. You have another shot. Plenty of targets on your screen. You're firing, you're firing. Okay. You turned early. There are still targets on your screen. I don't mind you closing the angle. That's totally fine with me. But why are you turning early? You can still be drifting like this to close the angle, and you can still get 2 more shots off as you do it. That's 2 bad reloads there. One was only 1 bullet you cheated yourself, and this one has 3, but you really only cheated yourself 2 because you wouldn't get 3 shots off before you closed the angle. But be aware of this. This does add up. This does add, damage decrease, a delay. This slows down the amount that you put out. And then you canceled it into a roll. You definitely didn't need to burn your roll for that. There's no way. It could work. You guys are behind by enough time that you need to make a play. Okay. So you have to flash eliminate the Ana. Otherwise you're going to get slept. Good. Good. Well done.
I'm on fire.
I'm glad you didn't continue to hold that position after Ball knew you were there. That was good. I understand you wanted that from there. Yeah, that unfortunately was always going to happen. This was too early to peek. Leaving here, once Ball knew you were here, that was good, as this was, no longer going to be a surprise high noon. Going down here was potentially fine with me, but you don't need to force this. You don't need to go, oh, aha, early in here, etc. You can let them start to rotate, be looking more hard this way, etc. before you peek, or even if you have to, go back here to do it, etc. There's still the danger of you getting slept, but you're less likely to get slept if they have to increase their reaction time by turning from looking at this fight over to you, etc. You want to make things harder for them. Make them be going, oh, we're doing this, etc. Make them be here where they're already taking some damage from your team, so your high noon can go off faster. You get your skulls faster, etc. So you just pulled the trigger on this one a little early, and by pulled the trigger, I don't mean started the ult. I mean revealed that your presence was here at all a little early. They weren't yet focused enough on this fight. But, that's fine.
Engage.
Good. Yeah, you had to go here. You couldn't peek that. Okay. I don't even think you can peek this, to be honest. But, hey. Scares me. Scares me. Why are you still alive? Why is your support line holding this back? I don't understand. Why is this team scared? Okay.
Oh,
That'll learn you.
A mercy boosted Anna is not a scary thing. Like, this is weird.
Let's start over at the beginning.
Those were two intentional shots into a Zarya bubble. It's fine. Close the angle. You had to close the angle on that Zen. That Zen knew you were there, and you got to see it during your high noon, that he was charging a right click, and he was going to re-peek you. So you needed to move your position a little, and really you needed to close the angle on him like this. You were just lucky that he didn't connect with orbs, with serious orbs there.
60 seconds remaining.
Left down.
White routine.
Heroes never die.
It's fine. You have to do a long flank there.
That's what the doctor ordered.
He doesn't know that you don't have flash, so he's hesitant to push, which almost got you flash back, but not quite. That's fine. So that's all. Your mechanics got a little slippery. Again, I'm not one to comment overly on mechanics, but you like wasted a full clip chasing after the Genji down mid there and hit no shots, etc. So just something. Make sure you're doing your warm-ups before you play. If you're going to be playing serious hit scan, etc., that will help you out. Bigger things so far are definitely, hey, how we're handling ball, and some of this, hey, I'm going to go bind cover to reload, but then come out of cover while I'm still reloading, or this, I'm going to reload with 2-3 bullets left in my clip, etc.
In 30 seconds.
That'll get it done.
What do we have here? Supports are the front line in Plat because Hog and Zarya are both flanking. Sort of. I mean, they're supposed to be. Quite frankly, the Hog and Zarya, they need to take off angles to really get too much work done. Zarya needs to have vision on, able to connect with her Hog, etc. But yeah, but in that sense, everyone's the front line because, you're taking angles and those angles let you have access to more of the opposing team, deny their cover, etc. But that still doesn't mean that an Anna damage boosted by a Mercy keeps back 4 players. Like, that was just hilarious to me. But that, it's fine. It's just the game happening at a slower pace than I'm used to. Not a big deal. Or it's the punishment happening at a slower pace than I'm used to.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Take a deep breath. Now, let's achieve our objective.
Good.
Bedtime.
Okay, let's go back over this.
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Okay, you reloaded it to 4 or 3 there.
Now, let's achieve our
Reloaded at 3 there. Reloaded at 2 there.
bedtime.
Reloaded at 3 there. Reloaded at 4 there. I'm going to stop now. What I'm illustrating there is that, hey, you're going, hey, I need to get behind hard cover and reload, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't. You can finish every one of those clips. You have a Rhine. I don't like that your Rhine is just standing here and shielding for you, but he is. So since he's doing that, you should take advantage of it. You should go, I can fire all 6 shots. The danger I am in is very small. Couple things that go through shields, like, fire strikes, Tesla cannon, etc. A ball could come in above, etc. But I can stand here and, take my shots, etc. And I can go all the way down to 0 in my clip every time. I do not need to be going, oh, I have 3 shots left. Let me close the angle, reload. I don't need to go, oh, I have 4 shots left. Let me close the angle and reload. You have a Reinhardt who's just sacrificing his barrier for you. Might as well take advantage of it and empty your clip every single time. Now, if there's no targets on your screen because they've all gone behind cover and you think they're going to stay behind cover for a second, sure, reload. But that was not the case of what was going on there for the majority of those 6 half-clip reloads. Yeah, that's a lot of lost damage, uptime, etc. Yeah, again, you're going wild with these reloads. Usually what's happening, usually what's happening when people are going wild with their reloads is they're sort of getting too into a 1v1 mindset where they're thinking, I've always got to be ready to win a 1v1. I've always got to be ready to, in case someone shows up, I've got to be at my full power, my full ability to beat them. And I don't want to get caught, with only 2 shots left in my clip, because then if a Genji shows up and 1v1s me, it'll be embarrassing when I lose. No one cares. No, seriously, no one cares. Like, even if your teammates are like, for 2 minutes in chat, no one cares. You really want to be going, hey, I need to be getting out max value. You're going, hey, I'm setting myself up in case this one thing happens over here. No, you need to be getting more value, etc., and you're fine. You're standing with your team. You have a Mercy. You have a Roadhog. Like, no one's going to show up to 1v1 you in the middle of this. It's not going to be a serious 1v1 anyways. And even if they were, you'd be sacrificing too much to constantly be reloading like this that, is team v team stuff that you're denying. You could be putting out damage. Yeah, you're not necessarily going to be getting eliminations with it, but you could be puking more damage with all of these bullets that you've wasted through reloads here. Like, that is a lot more damage that you could have. And I think this clip, when you go back and see it, will pretty well illustrate how much you left on the table. This particular one, hey, they're both behind a card. I can sort of forgive it, though it's not as forgivable as you might think. Like, if we look at this, that one's fine. What? Did you think there wasn't going to be a shot for another second here? A full second, really? Shots to be had, shots to be had. Still a shot to be had. This instant, there's not a shot to be had. There's a shot to be had again. You can. It's small, but you can barely get the corner of Zarya's weapon there, and that will count for doing damage, etc. So, I think you'll see there was a lot of time that you spent on reloads there that you absolutely did not have to. This has just become like a tick or a habit for you, and the sooner you break it, the better off you'll be.
30 seconds
Again, you don't need to reach for those flashbangs on Ball. Ball will come in. It's the only way he can get value. And by you reaching for those flashbangs, if you do get them, your team's not going to follow up as much as if he was in the middle of the team, though it's still fine to flashbang him if you do find him on an angle, if you're confident you can get the flashbang. But by not getting it, you give him an opening to come in and pile drive and know he's unlikely to get punished.
10 seconds.
Like, that's clockwork. I called it actually here on their first attack too. You went and tried to reach for a flash over here and missed, and then sure enough, just a couple seconds later, he came in and pile drived. And he did the exact same thing here. So got to be more aware of our Ball matchup there. His play changes based on what cooldowns you have. I didn't particularly like that flank, but I'll live. That slam was totally deniable with flashbang. Nope. Too long a flank. Soldier can make those flanks. You didn't have High Noon yet. You could have done work from behind your team. Let your let your soldier be the one to take those flanks. You as McCree are really only interested in short flanks, unless it's between fights. You're getting some pretty good value off the flanks that you've been hitting this game, and some of them have been short enough that I've been letting it go primarily. But be careful, it is going to start costing you. Like your reloads cost you time, your flanks cost you time, and you are not a fast flanker. Yes, they do give you, more offensive power when you do get there, and, you do have high noon, and you pretty much need to hit flanks to get a lot of your good high noons, but, it's the sort of thing that does start adding up how much time it costs you, so you really got to be careful that it's between fights, or that it's short flanks, etc. Or that it's necessary to crack a game wide open. Like your team is tilting or something like that, so you go on a flank, get behind them, flash the Hannah, get her, then get their mercy, etc. Kind of like you did. Nice. Are there any other boofs you need to be worried about? You should be fanning that. I'm not sure why you're not. Like, at that range with the amount you had left in your clip, that was fan territory. Okay. Good stuff. So the big things here. Oh.
Round 3 complete.
No, I don't want that as man screen. So the big thing here that I'm going to want you to be concerned about is, hey, if you're playing to counterpick ball, if you're playing to do work into ball, that's fine, but we've covered how you have to play into ball. You're looking to get ball primarily when he, comes in, when he does work, and you have to get your freeze beam on him, and you have to be willing to do those faster turns, make sure you are paying more attention to, hey, I can hear ball coming in, I know ball should be coming in. You've got to acquire your target on him faster, and at this point, that means a willingness to look, because you're sort of doing the, I hope this thing will go away if I don't look at it thing when it's already in. You'll chase it when it's to the side. When it comes in, from the front, you're absolutely happy to go after it, but when it comes in from a place you don't see, you don't look for it all, you just hope it goes away. So fix that. See if you can find a way to turn faster on May. I went over how to do that earlier. It might be a practice thing. It might be a, hey, could be a couple things. I went over that earlier. But that's the ball counter stuff. Do be aware that if you spend your flashbang, if you reach for flashbangs that aren't there on McCree, and ball sees that you do that, that will make ball come in to go do his pile drive combo very often. He is playing around your stun cooldown there. So definitely be aware of that. You're giving some stuff up when you do that, and please don't reach for a stun on ball, especially because if you reach for a stun on ball when he's sort of far away and it's just you that's going to follow up on it, it's just you that's going to follow up on it. You're not going to take him down. Whereas if you stun him in the middle of your group, he's going to take a lot of damage. That's going to be more powerful, etc. That said, if you find him on the flank, you can absolutely stun him with flashbang, because you should then do enough damage, assuming you hit your flashbang, which I just don't want you reaching. I want you hitting the easy flashbangs. You'll then do enough damage that he's going to have to spend time going and getting health packs before he can come in, etc. Okay. The other big thing for you is going to be, you had a long sequence there at the beginning of their second attack where you just went wild on the reloads, but you have a reload problem in general. Like, that was the most blatant example of it, so I really kind of highlighted it. But you do have a reload issue in general, and that costs you uptime, damage, DPS, however you want to think about it. That costs your team a lot of McCree value. And McCree is sort of the, hey, unlike Soldier, he doesn't get to go on his... he doesn't get to go on his, I'm going to go on super flanks, I'm going to go do this stuff, etc. So instead, he's just got to be puking out damage from where he is. He even has a cooldown roll to give him back his clip faster, etc. So you need to just go ping, 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 ping. Okay, roll ping, 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 ping. And you actually get through 6 shots before you reload again, etc. And you do your work like that. You can't be going, oh, I'm down to 4 reload. Oh, I'm down to 3 reload. Oh, I'm down to 2 reload. reload. Oh, I'm down to 4 reload. Like, you can't be doing that unless there's actually nothing better to be doing with that moment. Even if it's a low value shot, like, oh, it's a body shot into a tank. Oh, it's, shooting at the side of Zarya's gun to try to get a little damage on her, etc. Take those shots rather than reloading. That's going to add up for you. That's damage you're leaving on the table, and more damage, even if they're not eliminations, is going to be more pressure, which is going to lead to more eliminations, or better situations for your team when the fight starts, etc., etc. You need to be puking out that damage as McCree. Okay. Chat, if you have questions, I'll get to them in the second. Meanwhile, if you guys have been enjoying the content, feel free to like and subscribe. That helps me out. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below and see what my coaching rates look like, see when I'm streaming, connect with other people that are getting coaching, talking about Overwatch coaching, all that cool stuff. Okay, I am going to do one or two more reviews after this one, but let me first answer any questions I have sitting in chat at the moment. We said sports are frontline. We covered the double off angle, and you guys are having a discussion about Mercy and Widow, and basically you don't trust a Silver Widow to win. Yeah, I saw that actually in the review. You ignored your Silver Widow right away when she went down, and then she went and got 2 headshots. And I commented on it, but I get it. Soldier can be a little more reliable. Totally fine to boost him instead. Okay, will be back online, guys, in 2-3 minutes max. I'm just gonna load up another VOD. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Should be at the same URL. It just might say I'm not streaming for a minute. Anyways, catch you guys in a minute. Temporal out.